Welcome to another episode of Finest Design. This is Ali Ghanem. If you thought that last episode about the human aging, the human facial anatomy, and the complex rule of 9 to optimize the surface, the volume, and the laxity, if you thought that that was too much or complicated, let me tell you, you haven't seen the whole picture yet. Human psychology is far more complicated than we have ever imagined. And in aesthetic interventions, psychology play a very important role, not only in managing patients' expectation, but also in evaluating outcome. While in other aspects of surgery, such as cardiac surgery or neurosurgery or liver surgery, the outcome is related to the organ. In aesthetic surgery and aesthetic intervention, the outcome is related to psychology, happiness. We are here in the Himalayan salt room, and I'm very inspired with the accumulation of knowledge about the impact Himalayan salt have on health, such as respiratory system or the skin, but more importantly to also the mind in relation of antidepressant and anxiety management. I like this room, and I will take you today through a journey in which we will explore how we can evaluate psychology and optimize it for best preparation for our aesthetic interventions. So it's a great pleasure to host my very dear friend and clinical psychologist, Dr.Luca Pozzi, who have a special interest in body dysmorphia and post-traumatic stress. I would like to ask him a few questions to cast some light on the importance of psychology in facial aesthetics towards Finest Design. Dr. Luca, well, thank you very much for joining Finest Design program this year.
So a fundamental part of how we see ourselves is our internal image of how we look like. Therefore, seeking improvement has been found by the research, not only by the general public, to be extremely important to improve well-being, in the specific case self-esteem, confidence, decrease in anxiety. Who we look like is something we develop throughout the years, the few years of our youth, and then that stays with us. So in my experience, at times going through an aesthetic surgery has really helped a person to reset the idea that they had of themselves, with immense benefit.
I really do agree with you in relation of the benefit, and I think that some of my patients, when they come to see me, it feels as if they are held by a rope or a chain, and once we do the intervention that is appropriate for them, you know, I feel that they are really released and they really transform into an amazing version of themselves. That brings another question. Is aesthetic intervention, aesthetic surgery for everybody?
The answer is unfortunately not. Not everybody is suitable for this procedure. This simply because there is a part of the population that suffers from what is called the body dysmorphic disorder, that to summarize is to overthinking about a certain aspect of your aesthetic appearance. Therefore, there is a deep need for a psychological reset prior to the aesthetic intervention.
That was really insightful, thank you. So if we suggest that everybody is ready now for surgical intervention or aesthetic intervention for the right reason, and they have been ruled out to have any mental health issue to prevent them from having the optimum outcome. But those who might benefit from it, sometimes things go wrong. Sometimes complications happen, and then people are disappointed, maybe disenchanted with some results. Is there any interventions or recommendations you may offer to prepare us better for the journey of aesthetic surgery and the recovery period?
I like really the word that you use, journey. It is a journey. It is a journey that starts with an initial meeting. I would recommend a multidisciplinary approach to that, as we're doing here in the clinic, where the person is screened for what might be not a body dysmorphic disorder, but other psychological vulnerabilities that can really help to prevent dissatisfaction by, for example, preventing idealization around the results that are not realistic.
Fantastic. Well, that was what is available to us in this episode to talk about psychology and its role in aesthetic intervention. I'm very grateful to Dr. Luca Pozzi once more, and I look forward to hosting him in the future and continuing this collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you.
So that was psychology as applied to aesthetic interventions. We have heard how it is very important that we evaluate and prepare our minds before any aesthetic intervention. No matter how successful we are with aesthetic interventions, if our mind is not prepared, if our expectations are not set, or if we have an underlying psychological problem that hasn't been evaluated, the outcome might not be favorable. I will remind you throughout the series on the importance of psychological health. We can boost our psychological health and confidence doing simple interventions. Sometimes we have to deal with surgery and more invasive interventions in order to overcome major barrier to our confidence, such as excess skin after massive weight loss. The aging process presents challenges to every one of us, and our facial appearance and our relationship with that appearance play a very important role in motivating us to consider aesthetic medicine and surgical interventions. However, there are many ways apart from surgical and aesthetic non-surgical interventions that can help us boost our confidence and get on and accept our appearance. We can talk to our friends and family or to the psychologist about it. We might just take a little walk in the park, or we might have a cold shower. Yes, cold showers are known to boost our serotonin levels and enhance our confidence and happiness. I have a fantastic machine here called a cryotherapy chamber. You will know more about it in the last episode of this series. But for the time being, and until next episode, where we will discuss the green options in facial aesthetics, the ones associated with minimum or no downtime. Until then, from me and the team, goodbye.